Vincent Farms. Probably have to strain to read everything. Hey, Ed. Good to see you. There are not too many places I can mount the camera in here. I'm using a magnetic base, and it's all either fabric or plastic. So that's the spot of choice for the moment. I am in the white 6125 plant corn. 6 rows at a time. Hey, Military Museum. I must have picked the right time for Italy. How's planning going? Planning is going good. I've had very little breakdowns. This week's been great for moisture. Started to get a little dust on top, but I'm also in my sandiest ground. I don't know if I'll quite get done today. I'm getting close. We'll see how the day goes. But I don't have a whole lot of ground left. If I don't finish it up tonight, I'll finish it up before lunch tomorrow. Hey, Scruffy. Good to see you here, too. See James Hoffman. Is that Jim Hoffman from that I know? There's probably a few. Which field are you in? The big field. I have the same problem with me. Oh boy. I might get some crooked rows out of this. Oh, here's one of the sand hills. Just a little bit to the right way. You can plant that with a big drill one time, and I couldn't climb it, and it wasn't because it was wet. It was because the drill was heavy enough and the sand was loose enough. I was spinning out. I had to come around and go from the other direction. So how are you from? Far am I from Port Huron? Boy, it's about a 3-hour drive, maybe a little more. I'm in the Jackson area, so it's a little bit of a drive. Hope I'm coming through clear. Let's say, how many acres do you farm? We got about 900 tillable acres altogether. Mostly corn and beans, some wheat, a little bit of hay. We own more than that, but just to my left here is a nice wood lot. That's probably around 15 acres. Very sandy hills, very steep hills. I'm guessing that's why it's never cleared the farm. Could you, darn thing disappears before. Oh, man. Could you do a walk around video of this tractor? I am sticking right around 5 miles an hour for speed in this field. Most of the time I try to keep it to 5 or a little below. We just have enough stones. It's hard on equipment if you get going too fast with all the sand here. The ground is very mellow. Not nearly as many stones as some of my other fields. Yeah, if everybody wants, I can stop and go outside and do a walk around with the tractor and the planter. That won't take long. Got a beautiful sunny day here. I think we're supposed to get up to 60, so not super warm, but still comfortable. The bad part is I think we're supposed to get down around freezing tonight, and then Friday night we're supposed to get down to like 25. None of my corn's out of the ground. It will be. Let's see. My son asked if you have your signature series crisp white tennis shoes on. You know, that is an interesting question. I have them in the cab with me, but if you watch the video of Herman getting stuck, I think my shoes might have gotten a little wetter than I realized, and they're starting to stink, so I took them off. I'm in my socks at the moment. At lunch, my wife's like, something smells. And I think I figured out it's my shoes. I think, yeah. So let's Let's see, what did people say? Did everybody want me to stop and do a walk around? Maybe I gotta do one of those crazy videos where the guy, leaves the tractor running. I'm not that nuts. Yeah, the background's getting overexposed from compared to the inside of the cab. It's a little darker here in the shade. How do I bring them comments back up? That button? No, it's not that button. Thank you, James. That one will be going back in the field here pretty soon. I'm finishing up corn, and I'm going to put the 2155 back on the grain drill. It's got about 12 hours of disking on it since the rebuild. And, well, it's got air conditioning too, so that's why it's going on the grain drill. Anybody else out there farming right now while they're watching this? And Phillips equipment tour. I've been thinking about the equipment tour, and I'd really like to get to 10,000 subscribers, because there's some features that YouTube unlocks for you when you get to that level. So I was kind of thinking maybe of making that a thing where if I can get to 10,000 subscribers, I'll do the equipment tour video. It may have to be in a couple different parts, just because they're, speeding. A lot of things to look at, and I got a lot of things to say about them. Let's see, are you still having plow day? I don't have I still have my personal plow day where me and a couple of friends usually get together and turn over some wheat stubble, but as far as a large organized plow day, I don't have one every year, and at this point there's nothing planned. How is the rebuilt tractor engine doing? It's running great. I haven't run it in a couple of weeks now. Been doing other things, but I used it for a couple of days, disking ground, and she purred along like a kitten. I was almost ready to do the dyno video for that one. Last time I used the dyno, the tack was acting up on it, so I had that's one of the things I'd worked on when greening was getting the tack figured out on the dyno. I got that going and recalibrated it, and then things dried out again to where I could get back out in the field, so I just haven't had a chance to make that video yet. Tractors do you have? I think, check out Project how many tractors? Ones that run, what did I count? I think it was 44. There's some parts tractors around besides that too, but I guess if they're in parts, I don't know if they really count as a tractor anymore. Pretty much every one of them has a story, in my opinion. I know the history on a lot of them, so that's why I kind of feel the equipment tour might take a while, because I know people like to hear that. So it's kind of been a little intimidating trying to figure out how to do it. I think I've got it figured out. If I miss your comment, you might have to type it again. I'm trying to drive and run and everything, and so sometimes they get by me before I can get a chance to read them. Yeah, I was kind of surprised myself. Am I one-man operation? Pretty much. Let's see, back to Herman. There was some stuff down lower that I thought might do them in, but at the pass before that, he sailed right through. Someone had commented about the disc being pitched forward, which that was a good call because I tipped it forward before I went down the road to keep the back gangs from clanging on the road, and I didn't re-pitch it. So the disc was kind of digging in the front and acting like a snow plow. That probably really hurt its chances. But I figure I had another pass or two before doing it. But yeah, pretty much one-man operation. Let's see. I hire out my fertilizer spreading done because I have grid sampling done and variable rate fertilizer in line. And the equipment to buy all that or get into that on your own is pretty expensive. And for no bigger than I am, I just feel it's money well spent to have someone else do it. And then the other nice thing is they get in here and in a day or so, a couple of days, they've got it all done. I don't have to go out and buy several $100,000 piece of equipment just to spread fertilizer. Saves me from having an extra employee that I have to do all the tax stuff on. I just write them their check and they pay their employees. So I think it works out good for me. And then the same place does my spraying. And once again, that frees me up to do more on the farm. So, in some ways it's not a one-man operation. I don't see how anything this size could be. But so far I've worked every acre of ground that's been worked. I've planted every acre of ground that's been planted this spring. Same way last spring. I do have some friends that come and help me, mostly during harvest time when I need it more. But there's a lot of harvest I do all by myself. A lot of times during bean harvest I will harvest beans in the afternoon, then the next morning go out and disc the ground and plant wheat on it until the dew or frost burns off. Go back to running beans in the afternoon and run them until it gets too tough in the night. Start her all again the next day. Let's see, lunch is over. Yeah, go out. Hey, good. Thanks for stopping by, Ed. Lunchtime. Shoot, it's 4:30 here in Michigan. I missed that last one. Let's see. I love the variable rate. Yes. Variable rate lime is what got me onto it. But boy, my crops are so much more consistent than they used to be. I'm putting on about the same amount of tonnage per acre, or overall tonnage of fertilizer and lime, but there's some places that get zero. There's some places that get twice as much as they used to. And so it kind of all averages out, but yeah, now the marginal areas are getting better and the good areas are still doing good. What really sold me on was the lime. I'd have, my ground was pretty variable, and I have some areas where the, looks like, yes, it's very, hey, organic dairyman. I assume this is Paul. Good to see you. We got, it's very sandy right here, so yes, it is very dusty. We haven't had rain since Thursday of last week, so almost a whole week now. There's good moisture in the ground. The ground is still pretty cold. Yeah, hey, well, tell Steven I said hi. How much soybeans do you, oh man, it faded away. I should get out and grab a handful of this sand just to show you how this hill right here doesn't usually produce very well. If we get a lot of rain, it'll do good. I will. Yes, this is the white 6125. This is the full power shift tractor, my new tractor. It's the newest one I own. It's a 97. Last tractor we sold from the dealership. Oh, Steve's nearby. Well, cool. I'm guessing you guys probably, with an inch and a half of rain, you're not out in the field today. I was just looking at the weather forecast at lunch, and looks like they've taken our snow out of the forecast. We still got some rain coming on Mother's Day, cold rain, but I guess that's still better than snow. Hello from Georgian Bay. Hello. No cows, no livestock at all. My brother does have some critters. He's got more his daughters, but they that disappeared. They got a couple alpaca. They've got ducks and geese and chickens and turkeys. And just a little bit of this and that. But I personally do not have any livestock. We used to. When I was a kid, we had beef cattle and hogs. I was about 11 when we got out of beef cattle altogether, and then concentrated more on hogs after that. And then when my dad took over the farm equipment dealership from my grandfather in '88, that's when we got out of hogs. It was just too much for us to try to do all the land, the dealership, and the hogs as well. So we just got out and rented the building out. How many we have watching? 28. Corn and beans do I have planted? No beans, and this is my last field of corn, and I might get finished yet tonight. We'll see how it goes. If not, first thing in the morning. And then I'm not sure what to think about getting started right away on the beans. I got some ground to fit first anyways, but with some cold rain coming, there's a hole. Critter hole. Hey, organic dairyman, if you're still watching, what's a pocket gopher? I watched your video the other day, and we don't have pocket gophers around here unless that's the same thing as a woodchuck, which I kind of doubt. Got his Herman hoodie the other day, and he's wearing it now. I'm watching you, and then the thing disappeared. I don't know why they don't just leave that stuff up. I haven't found a setting to leave the chat up. It fades away after a moment. Just slow down here or stop for a minute. See if I can get it back. What's that button do? No. No. Live chat. There we go. Hey, look at that. Awesome 1347 gave me $1.99. What a great hit. I hope you're doing too good today too. Might be like I know him or something. I am planting 30,000 in the sand. Yeah, it's not all sand. Most of it does good. I thought about going with variable rate on my seed. I feel like this, it would definitely make sense. Kind of hard making a video when you show up live. Oh, Jeff Raymond. I mean, Raymond. It's been a while since I've done a live. I wasn't sure. Seems like you just have not the best cell phone coverage. I hope I'm coming through clear. Anyways, I wasn't entirely sure, but it seemed like I was going to be able to hear the last day of corn planting, so I figure it's now or never for at least the corn video, a live one. There's a crooked row. It's all your guys' fault. Wow, that was bad. I think there's enough trees along the road here, no one will see it. Switch camera angles and see if oh, let's just do that. Oh, there it is. Look at that row. Yeah. All right, let's swing back around. Loud and clear. All right, you get more seeds in a crooked row than a straight one. Yeah, but someone's got to harvest that stuff, which is me, but come on. Back my population off this year from 34 to 32. Yeah, I went up to 32 a few years back, and boy, I had some of the nicest looking 100 bushel an acre corn. It was first half of the season was great. Corn was just tall, and then the water turned right off, and had so much tip back, and yeah, my ground dries out so fast. If everything goes good, I think I could support a higher population, but it's too risky. What's this arrow do? Here we go. Hi from Ireland, Alistair McCormick. Auto steer for Christmas. Yeah, the rate I'm going. Great quality hoodie, great print. I'm glad to hear that. My father, I got to tell you about my in-laws. They got the hoodies and they ordered theirs back in March, and I'm guessing because of the COVID stuff going on. I'm now holding the camera, so it's really going to get crazy. They weren't producing as many in the U.S. Probably partial shutdown, who knows. But anyways, so theirs got ordered out of the Netherlands and shipped, and it weren't coming, or it didn't make it. So finally my mother-in-law calls, and they couldn't locate hers, so they said, we're just going to print you a new one. So they did that. Hers got through nice and quick, and my father-in-law's still on the boat from Netherlands, so they weren't gonna replace that one. Well, it showed up the a day or two after hers did, and I'm guessing he's getting another one, because what he got, the high quality hoodie with a turtle on its back on top of like almost like a milking stool. My daughter loves it. But it's not a Herman hoodie, so they called, and I gotta say, the places, Teespring seems to be real good about taking care of those problems when they crop up. And with everything going on, I guess I'm not entirely surprised. Imagine you with a giant rainfall and temperature knob fields. There was, God, it was in 2014. We got rain like every 3 days and just the right amount. And boy, even the sand just did beautiful. The fertility is there. It's just about getting the water on it. Just probably the best corn I ever grew. I was close to a 200 bushel. Love the hoodies and the t-shirts. Man, this awesome 1347 must be made of money. Thank you, Griffin. I'm probably gonna have to pay you back later now, aren't I? Wow, we've already been on for 27 minutes. Hard to believe. Time flies when you're doing these. It's fun getting to chat with everybody. More real time. Let's see if I can swing this around and show the planner a little better. Nope, I didn't have anything to spend my money on, so you can keep it. Well, thank you, Griffin. Robert Taylor, hi. Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm heading towards them crooked rows. My new live stream, I'm gonna have to get auto steer. Okay, here's this hill. What day corn do you plant? My longest this year was 106. I better put on the differential lock. This hill is sandy and steep. See, my longest 106, and this is my shortest I'm planting now. It's 99 day. I've done up to 108 and 110, but after last year, I backed off on my upper end. Although I didn't do too bad last year. The wettest corn I ran was 21%, so. And I don't plant a whole lot of the longer stuff. 210 is about as long as anybody goes around here that's not going to put it in a silo. Population. Rover 2 has been giving me grief. It's not the sensor. Swap the sensor out and it's still giving me the same reading. It reads low, but it runs out at the same time as all the other rows, so I know it's planting good. I've checked out the harness at the plugs and don't see any problems there, so I don't know if there's something in the harness or my need to send my monitor in to get checked out. But this close to the end, it's working. I'm not gonna mess with it. Let's see if I can put this up there. There we go. Now I can turn around. Enjoy your videos. Currently 82 in Houston. Yeah, that's a nice temperature. especially for this time of day. I don't like waking up to 82 because you know it's going to get hot. But, you know, 4 or 5 or 3, 4 in the afternoon. About an hour thinking about a video, but it's just so much easier not to. 50-50 right now. Ooh, Vancouver. It's neat to see where everybody's from. I got a little wide there. People can drive around my neighborhood and they'll be like, oh, look at them rows. That must be when Chris was doing his live stream. Denmark. Awesome. What time is it in Denmark? Got to be pretty late. Well, you're about 7 hours ahead of us. 6 or 7. Just after midnight. Or no, yeah, 20, just after 10, almost 11. .46 p.m. Yeah. So yeah, 6 hours ahead of us. Done that. What's my setup right now? White 6125 tractor pulling the white 6600 planter, 6-row planter, 630s. Maybe I should stop and do a walk around. Did a video on it last week, but I'm sure not everybody's probably watched that. Or how many acres is this? This field is 218 tillable acres. Back to the top of that sand hill, I'll stop and get out and do a walk around, show you how sandy it is. take a look at the tractor and equipment. Put my white tennis shoes back on. Mug. Thank my in-laws for that. They got me this for Christmas, and I'll tell you what, it's been a great mug. They said they got it off from Amazon, but it holds heat really good. It's bounced around on a tractor, and so far the decal hasn't gotten scuffed up or anything. Definitely my biggest field. I'm sure there's guys out there with bigger fields getting on the eyes, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa. Well, there's some big fields out there, but for around here, this is a large field. When I was young, and you can still take out hedgerows without asking for permission, Dad did that, and of course this used to be, I don't know how many fields, probably somewhere close to 10. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 8 or 9 fields altogether, I would say, when I was a boy. That's more than double our whole farm. We farm about 70 acres. Yeah, it's been almost 10 years. We were able to buy another acre or another field just to the north of our home farm, and now that field is 152 tillable acres. Biggest is 30 acres. I thought that field was a long one. Yeah. There was a while there I broke this field up into, like, I had a hay field in the middle of it and then would do one crop on the other end just because it was like, it seemed like you were always working in this field. It took a while to get it all done, but now when you go to certify with the FSA office how many acres you plan to wear, and you say, well, I stopped here. And they're like, well, where's there? You know, point on the map. Then you tell the spray guys, and they don't want to overlap with a different crop, and so they end up with a strip of weeds. So I've gotten to where I just, the big fields are all one crop, although last year I put 25 acres of corn on the north end of this. The rest of it was soybeans, but when rain was getting everybody delayed and the market really started jumping up, it was the end of May, and I had all my corn in, and I still had some seed left over, and I could lock in a good price. I decided to put in a few more acres of corn, use up the seed I had left, backed off on my number of bean acres. So I did split this field up last year, but it's back together as one now as far as all being one crop in the same field. Yeah, I'm kicking up dust, losing traction because this, well, my bald doodles don't help. They do keep me on top. They still act as flotation. I just need to find, another set of super all traction 18438s like right on the inside. I like tires to match if I'm going to buy them. And the smarter thing to do is the end stinners on this, they're getting some road wear. This hauls wagons a lot. And I guess the smart thing would be is move them out to the duals and get a new set for the inside. I got this thing about doing my own work. Man, that's a lot of tires to mount just now. Probably make for another good video. Alright, we're at the top of the sand hill. Let's get out and look at things. shouldn't go anywhere, but no, I won't. Let's see. There's the tractor. Hey, Oliver 880. It's the 1997 model year. Cummins 12-valve engine in it. 18-speed power shift, 9 reverse. I'd probably have better lighting if I come at it from the other side. Maybe. Yeah, that's better. There's the planter. This ground hasn't been worked since last spring when I planted, before I planted beans. This hill right here is almost beach sand. There's a corn cob. Made good corn a couple years ago. But yeah, but if you dig down, there is moisture in the soil. It's just the top that's dried out right now. That's part of the reason I'm no-till, especially on these fields, is just I'm trying to conserve as much water as I can. And working it up dries things out. Yeah, I even the row units start kind of digging in when I break over this hill, just because it's yeah, the black gumbo. When people see my plowing videos and how I'm pulling a bottom or more than they usually do, this is why. I mean, the ground can be pretty loose, and that's nice as far as the roots can follow the moisture down easier, but yeah, the row units are kind of sinking into the sand some, and so the row cleaners are pushing dirt here on this hill, and the whole field ain't this bad, but this hill here is pretty sandy. Yeah, it just see how I'm coming on seed. Oh, still about half full. We could work down our clay 10 times, still wouldn't look that nice. You've got some nice ground. This stuff can yield if we get good moisture, regular rains, which a lot of times we do. It's Michigan. It can be hard to make hay at times. This field has been a hay field before, and boy, that works really good. Alfalfa with the deep tap roots really reaches down and gets the moisture. This used to have just if you follow along that side there, in the hedgerow and up this wood lot here, and stop out in here, we had about 25 acres of hay in here. Oh, back in the late 80s, early 90s, and a really nice looking stand. And with these rolling hills, we'd have so many people call and ask us. They wanted to build a house right on this hill. Just was gorgeous with that nice alfalfa in there. I was watching Straight Pipe Acres last night. But yeah, this little hill, or this hill would be nice for a house with a walkout basement. Just nice rolling scenery and trees, but it's also our farm. 10 p.m. in England. This field is 218 tillable acres. I'm kind of off in a narrow spot of it right now, but if you can see off in here, it goes all the way down to that hedgerow you see in the distance. Comes up that one there, wraps around this person's property here. Anybody know what this weed here is called? Got little white flowers on it. Doesn't amount to much. I have it every year, but meaning to look up and try to see what it is. It doesn't really cause me any grief because it's done with its life cycle before plants really get going. Here's the bugger. Mare's tail. I'm sure it's Roundup resistant. Hello, Scott. I wish these comments wouldn't disappear on my phone so quickly. Anybody know how to fix that? Ooh, the ground actually feels warm here on top. The sun's warm today. You dig down a few inches and it's not so warm. Weeds are weeds. Yeah, that's true. Shepherd's purse. I will look that up. It could be. I have no idea whatsoever. I know most of the weeds that grow on my farm, but like I say, this one, it flowers in the spring and shoot, it'll be pretty much brown and dead and gone to seed in another week or two. And so it really doesn't, I don't know, I almost call it a poor man's cover crop because I don't really have to concern myself with killing it. And if there's enough of it, it'll choke out other stuff. But the planter goes through it good. And so I guess it help hold the soil in place, so there's worse things. Well, I suppose I should get back on the tractor and plant some more corn. It does look dry. It is dry on top. The top inch or so is pretty much dried out, but there is good moisture down on the ground here. This is what you call well drained. There is absolutely no tile in this field, and there will never be a reason to ever put tile in this field. That little group of trees right there, there's a pond by that, and if there is a lot of rain, the water will end up in that pond. And oh shoot, there was a few years back we had a downpour in the middle of the night, and we got somewhere around 7 inches overnight and about 5 of it just in 1 hour. And that little pond turned into a lake. What did I figure? It was a couple acres worth of water instead of the normal half acre that it is. But the rest of the field was all right. Not too much for drown out spots, just right around that pond where all the water ran down to, and the rest of it soaked into the sand. My only monitor. Let's see, I had that there. Let's do that. Oops, pushed it too many times. All right. Yeah, exactly. Figure out a use for weeds and you couldn't get them to grow. I am planting about 30,000, just a hair over actually, about 30,500. No problem. I hope everybody got to see what they wanted to see. Get back out there and do some close-up stuff if there's anything anybody wants in particular. often thought velvet leaf. When the stems on that, when that thing's grown, is very stringy. I thought, boy, that's got a fibrous. The guy could probably, you know, make some kind of fabric or something out of it, like they do with hemp. And then I thought the same thing. About the time we intentionally grew velvet leaf, all of a sudden it probably wouldn't be able to grow anymore. Oops, I guess I was already up to speed. I'm running in 10th out of 18 gears and 1,740 RPM, which puts me at 4.9 mile an hour according to that one, and 4.7, 4.8 on the planter one. Will probably account for a little slippage in the sand. Yeah, I'm getting pretty good dust out there today. Varies quite a bit, yes. I've got some plowing videos from last summer. I think the one with the 1800 really shows it best, but I mean, in one pass I go from sand to muck to clay knob. Yeah, this feels pretty consistently sandy. Just how sandy is the variability on it. But I've got other ones that just change like night and day. One I'll be planting beans on this year. Got a lot of clay on it, some wet spots. The odd thing about it is the hill in the middle of it's mostly sand, so when it rains, the water soaks through the sand, gets down to the clay level, and then starts going sideways. And so you get these wet spots about halfway down the hill. Not where you'd expect them, and the low spots are alright. Of course, low spots is where we got the tile. I guess that catches it, but sometimes you gotta watch and just kind of surprise you where the water will come out. Do it again. Let's see. Forgot to say that you're 55 PTO. I'm glad to hear that. That's why I do them. I started doing those repair videos because something went wrong with the washing machine. I used a YouTube video to repair that. A couple others, and I'm like, you know, I guess I can give back. I've got stuff I know how to do, so just started putting them out there, hoping I can help someone else out. That, and it's a lot easier to show people. So if someone calls me or sends me an email saying, how do I fix this, now I can just say, here's the video, and instead of trying to describe a part to them through email or a phone or something like that, they can watch me do it. It just makes it a lot easier. At least I hope it does. How many Olivers do you have? Well, I've got, let's see, if you subtract out the 4 whites, then I guess somewhere right around 40 Olivers that run, or should run. So yeah, there's a 5 white tractors. I forgot about the 270. White American, this white's 125, the 155, 1425, and white the 270. I think that makes 5. Hey Murphy! 40 Olivers. Yeah, that doesn't include the implements. I've got plows. Last time I counted, and I know I've added onto the plows, I had 100 bottoms, and I've bought a couple of plows since then. I'd say probably right around 120 bottoms worth of plows altogether. People will see them all lined up out there, and military museum. Oh, I missed it. Sorry. See them all lined up there, and say, "Gee, Chris, you must do a lot of plowing." I'm like, "No, actually, I no-till my corn, and I minimum till on my beans." Plows are just recreational tillage and for fun and collecting, and most of the time you can buy them for just about scrap price. so I figure I'm not really out anything, because I could always turn around and sell it for scrap price if I needed the money back out of them. So I guess that's a cheap avenue for me to collect when times are tighter or that. And you have these tractors, you want to do something with them. I like to plow. I really enjoy doing it. I just also see the benefits of no-till on my sandy soils, and so if I have a tractor, God, nice to have a plow to either go to a plow day or plow a little bit around. So look for a plow that fits that tractor. I think that's where it started, and then from there just kind of snowballed. What's your newest tractor? I am driving it right now, the white 6125. This is it was built in 1997. Last tractor we ever sold at the family dealership, and the deal there was White, or AGCO actually, was telling us we weren't selling enough new iron, which I can see their point. If you don't sell new stuff, eventually you're not going to be servicing and selling parts for stuff, because people are going to move on. And so anyways, we thought, well, our white 205 is getting up there in hours. So this was, we'll upgrade. Maybe sales will improve next year. So we bought this for the farm and sold the 205. And so that was the deal. This one was at a dealer. And in retrospect, I wish I'd gotten front wheel assist. I'm sure there's been times pulling wagons. It would have been nice to have that little bit extra traction. It's supposed to be 125 PTO horsepower. I got to put this on a dyno because I know it's turning more than that. The things it's pulled and the power just seems to have. And so I think I could have utilized the tractor better. But for what I was using it for when I bought it, side dressing nitrogen with it was probably the biggest thing. And I felt traction wasn't an issue with that, and having the turning radius of two-wheel drive and not the extra cost of front wheel assist made sense at that point. So it was a good fit. We had to search around to find. I wanted 42-inch rubber. The only two-wheel drive one I could find was this one with 18-438s. 42-inch rubber would have been nice for road speeds for hauling wagons. They'll do up around 27 mile an hour down the road. That would have helped with turnaround time on wagons. And of course, let's see, when we first got this, I was still using the bush hog road-till, so I wasn't playing corn with this tractor yet at that point. Hey, if I miss your questions, go ahead. Don't hesitate to ask again. A lot of stuff going on here, and YouTube makes them fade away after a minute. If there's a way to make them stay on, I haven't figured it out yet. What 3? Oh, come on. Okay, let's see. You got a 3-bottom trip plow I'd like to find for this one for Super 6. I do have a couple 3-bottoms, but none of them are for sale. 26, 27, that guy run wagons with a 826 Fendt empty and go 37. Hey, I've heard that the newer tractors are getting faster and faster all the time. But hey, compared to the 18 mile an hour, how many acres do I farm? About 900 tillable acres. We own more than that, but we got things like woodlots, roadsides, wetlands, and stuff that we can't farm. I only rent about 24 acres, and then we own everything else. So definitely some job security in owning your land. In 1955 last fall. Yeah, there were some of the Olivers that had a high-speed transmission option, and they discontinued that after they came out with the over and under, because an overdrive with taller tires. Some of them tractors were getting over 30 miles an hour, and Oliver just felt that wasn't safe. I mean, this was back in the late 60s. You know, no tractor, hardly any tractor did that, and so they discontinued the high-speed transmission option at that point. Just felt it was a safety concern. Now, yeah, everybody wants their tractor to do at least 35 so they can get to the next field quicker. Everybody's farming farther and farther away than they used to. Unfortunate, my farthest ground is less than 3 miles away. Almost all of it's contiguous. So that works out good for me. Like to have an Oliver. Yeah, they're around. I see them for sale. Oliver plows. Nice 4240 would be a good match for a Super 77. I used to have more 3-bottoms. I had a 3-bottom 4340, but it came with a 4th bottom, and I had to put that one back on, so now it's a 4-bottom. Last time I had a plow day, back in 2017, I got a bunch of the plows up in shape, up to snuff, so that people could bring tractors. They didn't have to bring plows. They could borrow one of mine. That was one of the things I did. Was I had someone who was bringing a 1655. They wanted a 4-bottom pull type because it was a Western tractor with no 3-point. So I got that 4th bottom added back on there so they could pull that one. Wheatland or Stanton, they discontinued using the term standard for tractors at that point. Wheatland would be the right term. At least Oliver had. I live on the highway, but I only have to quarter a mile down the road, so I don't need anything super fast. Yeah, I don't have a semi, because, yeah, you know, we're pretty consolidated. Hello from Georgia. Manny is fixing narrow front. Yep, I've been watching Bandit work on his Oliver 1850. Yeah, I've got a 1900 with the Detroit. They're loud, so some people don't like that. Some people love that. They're screamers. They can turn a lot of horsepower. They're different set of. They're easy to make more horsepower with just a different set of injectors. Many Minneapolis Moulings. There aren't a whole lot in my general area that I've noticed, which is odd because like the next closest white dealer to us was Platts and Mason, and they were originally a Minneapolis Moline dealer, so they obviously had to have sold some in the area. I don't know if collectors have snagged them all or what, but I don't see any out in the field. I don't hear about too many around. Job the rebuild. Did it work out good financially? I would say so. I gotta really sit down and add up the bills, but just knowing what I paid for everything off the top of my head, I figured I had probably at the most $4,000 into it. Of course, that doesn't account anything for my labor. So I guess that makes my labor worthless. I'm sure it would have been well over $10,000 altogether, taking it to someone else that haven't done. Helped, let's see, I've already done, I had some distance and sleeves on hand. I did place a value on those, but I've done some horse straightening with those. And a lot of the gaskets I had on hand from when the dealership was open. So, save money there. My machine shop is very reasonable on its rates. Stuff like that. And Hurricane Propulsion, they have very good prices on their parts. I was really impressed. I love the old Jimmy Motors. If you know how to, yes, I agree. Yeah, come on, come back. experience as a diesel mechanic? You need it rebuilt. Our family had a White and Oliver dealership, and I grew up there. I was either working on the farm or working at the dealership, so I don't know, it just almost like second nature. But basically, when I was old enough to reach a clutch pedal, Dad got me driving a tractor, and when he felt I was old enough to start turning a wrench, I didn't start rebuilding engines, of course. But we had employees that did, good ones, and learned from them and Dad. Reading. And then later years, I did go to service school for different tractors at AGCO, but they weren't going to teach you the basics there. They assumed you knew how to, rebuild an engine and stuff, but they were more about the nuances of a particular model, like these power shift tractors. Went to service school on those down in Ohio, and that was about calibrating the transmission itself. It's computer controlled. It reads off the turbo boost. It reads off oil temperature and pressures to try to adjust the shifting, and overall does a good job. But that 9-10 shift can be there are 3 clutch packs shifting at the same time, and you go to, I just shift from 10 to 9. That wasn't too bad. Depends on how hard you're working it. So there's a sudden demand for oil pressure. You've got 3 clutch packs you're filling at the same time, and then you're also switching ranges. That was 9 to 10. That was nice, but I was also heading downhill, so that helps. And they say that for a fraction of a second, when you're shifting, I think it's from 10 to 9, the front half of the transmission has to speed up. You're switching a range, and that the horsepower demand for just a fraction of a second is somewhere around 200 horsepower. And so it can, you got that sudden power demand of speeding up all those gears, the oil demand, and so 9-10 is the one that, and there's ways of adjusting it, calibrating it. If you've got the throttle wide open, it uses the boost sensor to read that the engine's working harder, and so then it shifts the transmission faster. You don't want the tractor to come to a stop and have to start again. It's hard on the clutch pack, so you want it to shift fast. When you drive around the driveway, if it shifted that fast, it would jerk you around a lot, so it smooths it out, so it feels good when you're doing lighter work, like if you're pulling a rake, raking hay or something like that. And it's crazy because I need to recalibrate it. It's been years since I've done this one, but they say like when you change tires, you should recalibrate them. But that one time it can shift just fine, and everything seems to be the same, and the next time the computer decides, let's shift this way, and it jerks you around a little bit. And then usually I get those kind of things when I'm running here, around the 1800 RPM. You're not really getting a lot of turbo boost, so it doesn't think you're working it that hard. And so if you got something back there that's dragging pretty decent, and you're not generating enough boost, it'll shift slower, and then it'll give you more of a jerk. Overall, I think I've got it dialed in pretty good, but then once in a while it'll just throw me in, especially when the oil's cold. It's really need to have it well warmed up before you calibrate it. See, Echo needs to do a heritage out, and it disappeared. Oh my god, I hate that. This tractor was only about a year old when the boost sensor went out on it. That's the only repair I've had to do on it that I can recall. But oh my god, one moment I'd read there was 0 boost, and so the tractor would come to a complete stop before it would shift to the next gear. So you'd lurch forward, and then the planner would stop me, and then it'd hit the next gear and take off again. Then the next time I'd think there was a ton of boost, and it would shift so fast it would get into the next gear before the previous one had released, and the engine would would bog down during the shift. That's definitely not good on things. I was planting corn, so I just it was only in the 9-10 shift that it had trouble with a bad boost sensor, but there's diagnostics built into the system too. Fortunately, thanks to service school, I was able to run the diagnostics, figure out if it was the boost sensor, I just didn't, instead of throttling back, I just opened the throttle up more so I didn't have to go past ninth gear to get the speed I wanted until the new boost sensor come in. It's mounted right on top of the engine. It was easy to get to, but boy, that sure caused some rough shifts until it got replaced. Of course, then I had to go through and do the recalibration procedure because it's a different sensor, so it might turn out just slightly different from the others. Yep, there. Took a delay in shifting. I wasn't working it very hard. Let's see, we had a John Deere for about 67. You better hang on. Yes, this tractor does use the Funk transmission. Where's the tractor in? I am in a white 6125. And I guess I remember when we went to the product introduction for this line of tractors, they told us that when they bought the white tractor line, that supposedly white had a partial power shift transmission on the drawing board. It was going to be four gears instead of 3 like the over-under. And they said at that point they wanted to at least have a 200 horsepower tractor, so they built a prototype, and it didn't hold up very good. So then they got the Funk transmission that Ford was using in were those the Genesis tractors? I can't remember. I don't know my Ford models, but they used a variation of this Funk transmission in their tractors before AGCO did. And once again, AGCO's, they rigged it up and they were like, we're going to do at least 200 horsepower. You know, the 195 was White's biggest horsepower tractor at that point, so we've got to have at least that much through it. And I can't remember, they said that the Ford version, they tore it up in less than 100 hours. I can't remember the exact one, definitely less than 100. So then they went through and had their engineers do stuff to beef it up, to get more horsepower through it. And John Deere owns Funk, so almost everybody's making money off that transmission because John Deere gets some off Funk transmission. Well, then Ford did their modifications to it to work in their application. So they had patents on it. So when AGCO used it, they had to pay patent rights to New Holland or Ford for their changes on the transmission. And then AGCO came up with their own changes to beef up the transmission. This one's got the final revision. The early ones used not a straight cut gear, but essentially it was, but it had more curve to the teeth, and that helped keep the gear noise down. And that kept the transmission simpler because they could use just regular ball bearings. And then this generation, when they come out with the 6215, they knew they had to go to a helical cut gear to get more power through the transmission, which meant tapered roller bearings in order to handle thrust. And so they redesigned it again, and they didn't want to have several different transmissions. So supposedly this one, everything from the 6125 up to the 6215 used a helical cut gear when they upgraded. And so that's the nice thing about this smaller horsepower tractor. It's pretty much got the same transmission as a tractor that's almost twice the horsepower. So it should hold up good. But so yeah, AGCO's got their own patents on the transmission. Ford, which probably now Fiat and New Holland have some, and then of course John Deere, the owner of Funk. Remember at the dealer meeting, someone asked, I had to experiment with Funk for the, come on. Getting late here off the Funk transfer days here, but Deere made it too expensive. Yeah, let's see, what was I thinking to go out with that? Can't remember now. Oh, someone asked at the dealer meeting. He said, well, if this is such a great transmission, why isn't John Deere using it in their tractors? And the AGCO bigwigs that are at the meeting said that John Deere's industrial and ag divisions don't necessarily always see eye to eye. It's the ag or the industrial division that owns Funk, and they used it in industrial applications. Supposedly, this is what we were told at the meeting. So, do you have a white tractor that is green, and why is that tractor green? No, I do not. Whoever it was that said it's getting late. Let me get back up here. Off to bed. Oh, this is Kate. Well, thank you for watching. Let's see, the green tractor, the Spirit of Oliver. I can tell you about that. My mom, there were 2 of them built. Mom will come in later. There were 2 Spirit of Olivers built. The first one was essentially a white 185, and this was before the American Series came out. And they were testing the waters for paint colors. You know, enough guys had said you need to bring back the green paint. And of course, some were saying yellow, and from Minneapolis Moline and the red of Cockshutt. And so all of them are white. It was still white new idea at that point. They took a 185, they painted it up green, and they did some other things to trim it out special. There was a lot of chrome on it, chrome rims, chrome exhaust. I remember when it was at the Ohio Farm Science Review, each side of it, the wheel centers were a different color, and then there was a survey. They really had the cab interior decked out nice. And there was a survey you could fill out which side of the tractor do you like best. Did you like the stereo they had in there? They had plusher, the headliner and stuff like that, and just all sorts of questions. They lengthened the wheelbase on it. They made a special, on those tractors, there's a spacer between the transmission and the engine, and so they just made a longer spacer, made a longer coupling on the back of the over and under, and a longer shaft to go to the flywheel. And but for the most part, it was a production tractor with special paint and cosmetic improvements just to test the waters, and that kind of told them enough people felt like they would pay for an option of colors. That's when they did the White American Series, which you could get in green, yellow, red, or silver. And so that was enough of a hit at all those tractor shows and everything. They commissioned 3 more tractors, and these were Spirit of Oliver, Spirit of Cockshutt, and Spirit of Minneapolis Moline. And these were just regular production tractors other than paint and the stenciling and stuff, but there were no mechanical or no chrome on them, just regular paint jobs that were with the stenciling on them. And it's actually my mom's boyfriend that owns the second one. So the tractor's been at my farm a couple times now for a couple of plow days we've had. He was actually hoping to get the Spirit of Minneapolis Moline, and he went to his local dealer, and for whatever reason they couldn't get it, but they could. These tractors had done the show circuit. They'd used them for different things and felt they'd gotten their money's worth out of them, and so they would sell them to the dealers, and the dealers could sell them as low-hour used tractors. And so he was trying to get the Minneapolis Moline. That couldn't happen, but he could get him the Spirit of Oliver, the second one. And there was only one Spirit of Minneapolis Moline, only one Spirit of Cockshutt. And the Spirit of Oliver was the only one of those 3 that was front wheel assist. The other 2 were 2-wheel drive. So he did end up with this tractor. Of course, they used it on their farm. It was essentially a brand new tractor. That's a lot of money to buy a tractor, but they keep it up nice and everything. And I don't know how many hours are on it, but he did get it repainted. Was that last winter, just a little over a year ago. How long did your family have the dealership, and when did it finish? Dealership started basically, Mir's dad could figure the first Oliver was sold in 37. They had been doing repairs to, as you know, working on other people's equipment, but prior to that, I almost think we might have been a Gale dealer prior to that, but So somewhere around 37 was when it first started, and they were just working out of a couple small buildings there, and then just kept growing from there. Built part of the dealership building that we live in now in 45, and then added on the second part, which has the living quarters in that we live in I think it was 47. And so, yes, I actually live in a farm equipment dealership building. That's how bad I am. Just ask my wife. So let's see, the Spirit tractors, another interesting story on those. The first one, the 185, the white, said they had done their things with that, and so they had a dealer-only auction to get rid of some excess inventory, and that was one of the things. Dad went to that auction. Hello. And he didn't, let's see, come back home, and he was really disappointed. He wished he had secured a line of credit to bid on that tractor. He felt it would probably go for too much. It sold for, I think, right around $65,000. Those tractors were retailing out. 185 at that point was somewhere up in like $85,000 to $90,000 tractor. So that was actually kind of cheap horsepower. He wished he'd bought it. He said we probably would have sold the 155 and used it on the farm to help pay for it. But just wasn't prepared for it. Didn't think it would go quite that cheap. So we were this close to having it. We have some butts or candy and nuts every day be Christmas. Then, Dad was talking to someone from parts at White at one point, and they got talking about that tractor, and the guy said, yeah, they shouldn't have sold it. The people that own it, which I believe the same people still own it, but they were chopping corn, hay with it. They were running a chopper with it, and they broke the PTO shaft that goes from the engine to the back of the over and under. And since they sold or extended the frame on that tractor, that shaft was custom made to fit that tractor. He says they were having to have a special shaft made up because it was not a normal one that they would stock. It was a one of a kind in that case. Hello, Australia. You're a firm. My father passed away in 1995, so. No, he does not help me on the farm. He does in his own way, I guess. I would not be the person or the farmer I am without my dad getting me to where I am. So actually, just off to the right here is a cemetery, and before Dad passed away, we donated 3 acres of land to the church. And part of the stipulation was Dad would be buried in that land, so he is actually buried in this field. There's a nice big headstone out there, and kind of nice to, in some ways, this field's nice to have him out here with me. But, and I didn't answer the question on when we closed the dealership. We closed in June 30th of 1998. We had Agco bugging us about not selling enough new iron. We weren't putting enough effort into sales. I know sales was not my thing. Excuse me. I need a drink real quick here. Thank you. So anyways, just between one thing and another, we decided that had the farm, that was enough to keep me busy. Just didn't need the stress of the dealership anymore. Finally figured close before we worked ourselves into a hole trying to stay open, and so we called it quits. It wasn't an easy decision. Sometimes I miss it. I miss being able to buy parts and new equipment at dealer cost. I mean, there was no point in charging ourselves extra. It was like robbing one hand to pay the other. And it was a social gathering. ACCO was going to push the Challenger, I think he was saying. Probably. I know some people say, I wish ACCO would bring back the Light or the Oliver. I just don't ever see it happening. I'm not sure. Oh, my battery is getting low. won't reach all the way over there. Not sure how much longer I'll be able to go. I might be able to find another place to put the phone. Yeah, that's not going to reach. Just not too many places to hang with magnetic mount here in the cab. Let's see. I'm going to push the Challengers and the Fendt. Yeah, I would definitely say on the Fendt. Yeah, 61 years. We were also a Gale dealer. And when we closed, we were the oldest continuous running Gale dealer east of the Mississippi. So that was, and Gale was, I always liked Gale equipment and everything. We had some, Dennis Burns was our territory rep. He was a character, but he was very knowledgeable. You know, a lot of territory reps, they were just basically salesmen. Dennis knew his stuff. He would come out in the field. He would work on the stuff. He knew how to adjust the equipment. A lot of times, if we had a customer getting something expensive, he'd tell us, let him know when we're taking it to the customer. He would like to be there and help us make sure it gets adjusted right and everything. How did I find Herman? Well, that actually goes to my good friend Blaine, who actually found Herman. He made a trip out to Nebraska. Nebraska's pretty good country for a lot of front wheel assists where Olivers were sold out in Nebraska. That's what he was looking for. Prior to his trip, he put some ads in a couple farm papers that he was looking for these tractors, and then just drove on out there, went to some of the coffee shops and watering holes that farmers go to, and talked to them. And one of these coffee shops, someone mentioned this Oliver 1950 with the big tires, and they knew, so they told them who had it and how to get a hold of them. And it was way out in the Sandhills, Nebraska. He drove by a mailbox and couldn't even see a house that went with it. These people were so far off this little dirt road. That's just the way things are out there. It kind of sounds like heaven to me. And yep, these people, they had Herman. They named him Herman because when they first got him, it was 1966, and the Munsters were popular. And here's this, in 1966, that's just a huge monster of a tractor. And so the neighbors called it Herman, and it just left to Herman Munster, and it stuck. They farmed with him all them years, but they were willing to part with them. They were thinking about getting an airplane because they were so remote that driving to town for them was a whole day thing. And if they had a plane, they could go somewhere, get parts, whatever, and be back home in a reasonable amount of time. And so they sold Blaine Herman. He got him moved out to Iowa, and then Blaine decided to sell Herman, and we were able to work up a deal, and that's when I got him out of Iowa and moved him to Michigan. Just got to the part now. It just I've definitely enjoyed Herman. He's a crowd pleaser, just fun to drive. People have been asking if I'm ever going to restore them. When I first got them, I didn't think so. I liked the originality of the patina, but then I started taking some buffing compound to the hood and the side panels, and someone had stripped them down and put primer on them, and such a thin coat of green that even just buffing compound was taking it down to the primer gray. I'm like, wow, so this ain't original paint. Some of the rims are pretty rusty. There's some sheet metal missing. It should have Wheatland tin that wraps around the operator's station. I need to find some of that yet, but when I do, I doubt that'll match the paint. To me, I guess that's enough stuff to take away from the originality that when I do get the parts rounded up, I think I will paint them. Right now, I'm having lots of fun driving them the way it is, and so that gives me time to iron out any bugs, make sure he's running good, round up all the necessary parts before I tear into it, instead of having them sitting in the corner because I can't find the few things I need to finish them up. or having them half restored because I don't have all the sheet metal. Old Herman, and I always look up the wrong one. But my rows are staying straighter since I'm watching ahead. It's like my population staying. What is the loud beep? Okay, that is the monitor for the corn planter. When corn stops dropping, it beeps to let me know that corn stopped dropping in case I'm not paying attention to the monitor. So every time you lift up at the end, it beeps. Hey, Ed. Yeah, I'm still going. Everybody's asking me questions, and I guess as long as people want to watch, I'll keep talking, although I might have to move my phone here. My battery's getting low. I need to get it closer to where I can plug it in. Hour and 31 minutes. Oh my God, I guess I am a talker. That'll help. Probably stop to move that phone. Doing it while we're moving. Hey, Murphy. Yeah, that loud beep. They clearly made these monitors for guys running without cabs, because that beep is terrible. I got a rag shoved around the hole where the sound comes out, and it's still quite loud. If I pull that rag out, it'll drive you nuts. You know, I could hear it on Herman, I'm sure, if I ever put it on there. This beep is just so sharp and piercing. Now you just watch the videos of the guys from newer planters, they realize everybody's using cabs. It's just a nice little boop. I can stop on it. Move that phone over before the battery dies. Hey, Craig. Plug it in. Oops, help if I plug in the right end. Let's give you something to look at in my palm. There's the field. Let's see if I can make it stick here. That's not too bad. How does it look when we switch? It said switch. Probably not too bad. You can at least see that one marker over there. I can see my hair better. It's been kind of wild lately. I suppose everybody's getting in the same boat on that. This is a little closer, so I should be able to read it better. That planter... Is that the planter? Well, that's the one planter. Oh no, they're actually still. I think you can still get planters. I know you can. At the Farm Machinery Show, I was there, and they had a 16-row white planter, which also had Massey Ferguson decals on it, but they did have the white ones on it, painted in the white colors. Had all the bells and whistles, precision plant, hydraulic down pressure. That planter was $202,000 was the show special price on that. That takes a lot more acres than I've got to justify a $200,000 16-row planter. I thought they were ridiculous. We sold a couple of 12 rows, and they were getting up around 40 to 50,000. Why did my thing come on? Stop charging. There we go. Show special, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they had the Fent, what is that, the T9, it was a 9, the Ideal Combine. What was that? That was like show special to $500,000 or something like that, but the list price on it was somewhere close to $700,000. a picture of it somewhere of the price tag. It was just unbelievable. I mean, it's an unbelievable combine. It's amazing, but once again, you know, you can't make a combine like that pay for itself on 1,000 acres. Maybe if they finance it for 20 years. Trying to see if I can find a little better spot to put that where you can see the planter more. Maybe if I turn the phone, I'll probably drop it. That's about the most it's going to do. No, actually I got this planter after Dad died. I think it's the last one we ever sold at our dealership. We stayed open 3 years after Dad died. That was another reason to close. It just I don't know, I think our customer base kind of, there's a sinkhole, hadn't noticed that before. Customer base wasn't sure which way we were going to go, and you know, nervous about us staying open, and so it seemed like we were losing business that way. We stayed open for 3 more years. You know, we hired a mechanic, a couple mechanics, and tried to do stuff to keep things going, but it's tough. But yeah, this one was on the lot. I put it together. I think it was one Dad had ordered before he passed away, if I remember right. And then I think we had a 4-row like it on hand, but it got transferred out, so we didn't technically sell it. So I'm pretty sure this was the last planter out of our dealership. I know this was definitely the last tractor. I should do another live stream down the road. Come out here with a 4-wheeler once the corn's up. We can see how crooked my rows are from doing a live stream while planting. Although this morning I did film. I forgot to put a marker down. I turned around, put the planter down, walked back there to adjust the pressure. The oil was getting warmed up. Needed to readjust the air pressure on the planter, and forgot to put the marker down until I was about halfway across the field. So I did make a video with the GoPro of me winging it with no mark, and I'll have to get that uploaded one of these days. So that was no GPS, no auto steer, no marker either. Freestyling it. Or corn maze. People pay good money to walk through corn maze. Remember my daughter had a field trip to a local apple orchard when she was around 1st grade, if I remember right. But she wanted to go through the corn maze. I said, sweetie, I'm not paying $5 to let you walk through someone else's corn. We can go home, you can go get lost in my corn for free. That might have been 2012 because I remember the corn, we had terrible drought here. A lot of people had drought. And the corn in this corn maze was so short, even the first graders, I think, could find their way out because they could just look over the corn. Our county average that year was 72 bushels per acre. I figure I came up with about 114, what I averaged. So I was pretty happy with 114 after hearing what the county average was. Back, oh, let's see. Dinner will be ready at 6:30 if the timing works out for you. Must be my wife ain't watching me on YouTube. That might actually work out. What time is it now? 5:56. I am getting low on fertilizer. That probably will be a good time to run up and get reloaded, and I can grab a bite to eat and come back and plant some more. I don't think I'll do a live stream of eating dinner though. Didn't have time when the rain coming and nope. I just need to stop touching things. There we go. Did Williams take over from you then? When we closed, Williams did not have the contract for the, they were an Alice Chalmers dealer, so they didn't have our contracts. They couldn't sell our stuff. We tried to pick up the white combine when AGCO offered it, which the white combine when AGCO offered it was a Gleaner with a Cummins engine instead of the Deutz. And we did not have a combine line at that point, and so Dad tried to pick up the white contract, and they would not let us have it because we were too close to Williams Farm Machinery that sold Gleaners. I can get that. They don't need dealers competing. It doesn't work out the best for anybody when you got them too thick. And so when we closed, Williams was an AGCO dealer, but they did not have the contract for white and the other lines that we carried. I guess we didn't carry New Idea, so mostly just white. Glencoe, I think AGCO owned Glencoe by that point, Farm Hand. And so we sent people to Maple Valley Implement, which is still in business, but now they are no longer an AGCO dealer. They're just New Holland, other short lines. Short lines, and I guess New Holland isn't a short line, but just recently, about a month ago, drove through the Maple Valley parking lot, and but then once we were closed, Williams was able to pick up the white and Massey Ferguson contracts that we had because there wasn't a dealer competing with them, and so now they have all that. But when we closed, we sent out a letter, which dealers we recommended, and essentially they were the closest, and at that point, it was a better part of an hour drive to get to Maple Valley Implement, but they were pretty much the closest AGCO dealer that had the white contract. So I'm glad Williams Farm Machinery is there. They're about 25 miles from me, and makes getting parts and everything convenient. What I need to do is swipe. Let's see. Was your dad a good boss? Most of the time. I mean, he's still my dad, and I was still a young man. And fathers and sons can butt heads at times. So, but overall, yeah. We went to tractor shows and stuff together. We restored tractors together, so we got along good. I mean, like I say, we'd occasionally not see eye to eye, but we always got over it. Let's see. Baling all day. Let's see. Just come home from baling all day. Yeah, we're nowhere close to baling around here. Whoa, scroll slower. Now that I know how I'm doing on here, I'm doing terrible scrolling or planting. Is the dealership still up? The dealership? Yes, the dealership building is still up. That's where I live. We remodeled it some. There's living space on the second floor. When they added that part on, my dad was a kid. They lived down the road about 2 miles. My aunt tells me they thought they had the world when they got to move into the dealership building, because every room had an electrical outlet and you didn't wake up with snow on your blankets in the morning. But yep, we live in that building now, and other than needing that much space, I like it. We got lots of room, got all that history in there. We had a couple people approach us about renting the building to run businesses out of. Our homes, our farm basically surrounded that dealership building, and wasn't really much that delineated, separated the dealership area from the farm area. And so just didn't want that headache of... Something is squeaking back there. Hear it? I might see what it is. I think it might be that fertilizer opener. It looks like the scraper is somehow or another got bumped closer to it. But there ain't any dirt coming around anymore. Oh, and then it just stopped turning. It might have a bearing going out. Well, it figures, you know, on what I thought was the last day of planning, that's when bearings go out. So that's probably what's going on in it. We'll see if it'll limp long enough to get me done. God, I've only got, about 25, I don't know, yeah, 25 acres left to plant, roughly. That's when things start squeaking. Say maybe there's a rock trap behind a scraper, stuff like that happens. Turning now. Let's see. Can you get a video of that dealership? You know, that's kind of, I don't know, since it's our home, I mean, I can put some old pictures on, but in some ways it's just like, that's where my family is. So it's a little more hesitant to show much about the dealership or the inside of it, especially now. I probably better make this the last round. I can see my fertilizer hoppers are getting pretty darn low. And maybe I can figure out what that squeak is. Probably a bearing. Oh, here comes that sinkhole I mentioned earlier. That one's I guess it's not as bad as I thought, but still might want to bring some down here and fill that baby in. Oops, found it. I think right. The spray guys would probably appreciate it, because you know, 120-foot wide boom, they'd still find that sinkhole. What are you putting down for fertilizer? Oop, there's a crooked row. I am putting down about 55 pounds the acre of 10 or 11, but 52O MAP, mono ammonium phosphate. great job using oak. I think it's great. Thank you very much. I guess I just follow the, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know, these white planters were just hard to beat for the accuracy, simplicity. And to me, I still call, for a long time, I've been calling this tractor the new tractor. It's now, let's see, 1997 to 2020. It's what, 23 years old? Soggy here when they spread fertilizer. So yeah, the new tractor is 23 years old, but it's still the new tractor to me. Boy, I hear about this, you know, the proprietary software and things that are going on with the newer stuff. I can see there being tractors that are mechanically fine but won't work because the license run out, or I don't know. It's like who really owns your tractor anymore? Because it falls under the same rules as software, because computers have software now. So you know, the same thing Microsoft or even a movie company can come after you for pirating their software or their movie. Well, that fertilizer opener stopped turning altogether. I would say that is the squeaker. I bet it's a bearing. But anyways, yeah, you know, they can come at the same force as they did with recorded songs off from Napsters, or what's that? That's the thing what I love about White Planter. Simple to work on. Yes. My cousin was looking over my Massey Ferguson 8570 a couple of days ago, and he's got a, I'm trying to remember which model, international rotary, but just amazed at how much simpler that 8570 is, which, for those of you that don't know, White designed that combine. It was going to be the 9320, and White was, this was what, 1983, I think. White was in financial trouble, and so to pay some bills, they sold the combine line, and Massey Ferguson was looking to get into the rotary combine market. Didn't really have anything, this would get them in right away, essentially. So they bought White's combine line, and they didn't continue any of the conventional machines, but they did continue, put the 9320 into production as the Massey Ferguson 8560, and then they did some updates to that, including switching from a B series Cummins to a C series Cummins, and which was a good choice, I think. And that was when it became the 8570. But there are, so you can some of the white parts, or you'll still see some white parts on numbers on some of the can fit on there, some of the cutter bar parts and stuff like that. They continued the 9720, which the 9700 and 9720 that it replaced it came out. That was the world's largest combine. So White definitely had some big stuff to offer, and they kept producing that for some years. I'm trying to remember what model that became. Seems like the 8590. If someone else knows, correct me if I'm wrong. I've been going for an hour and 54 minutes. Pretty much out of fertilizer. Wife says dinner's about ready. I got a bearing that needs replaced, so I think I'm going to end this live stream here when I get to the other end of the field, so I can run up, take care of all those things, fill the planter up, fix that bearing. That shouldn't take too long. I'll still do some more planting yet tonight. Yep, that one is not wanting to turn, and it is no longer squeaking, so I think we have the problem figured out. 1984 with Massey. Came out of their rotor. That sounds right. It's somewhere right around 1983, 84. White had produced, what was it, 3 or 4 of the 9320s, had them out in the field doing testing, And that was supposedly part of the deal that Massey got those. That first year that Massey had a combine, one of these rotary combines at the National Farm Machinery Show, Dad was there, and he said that, what was it, the instrument panel or something still had a couple of WFE logos on it, White Farm Equipment, that they'd taken those are first production ones because they didn't, they wanted to get them in the show, and they relabeled them as Massey Ferguson's, even though they were originally built as Whites. But yeah, so just a very effective yet simple design. I really like that combine. It's getting up there in hours. Wish I could find another one just like it with low hours. There's probably some gentleman farmer out there that bought one and only has 1,000 hours on it or something like that. Just finding it was the hard part. What was that? Keep up, Globe. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much. I'm trying to remember. I might have stuffed a couple of bearings in the toolbox. I'll change bearings out for stuff like that out here in the field. I carry a toolbox with me. Little things like bearings for a disc plate or something like that don't take too long to swap out if you got the right wrenches and a hammer, which if you've got a wrench, you've always got a hammer. But I can't remember if I stuck them in there or not. But it'll go even quicker back home with power tools. Grab a quick bite to eat, load up, fix that, replace that bearing, and I don't know, by the time I do all that, I don't know if I'll get her done yet tonight or not. But if not, there's tomorrow morning. We got until Sunday before rain comes, so I guess I ain't gonna beat myself up when it's supposed to get down to 25 Friday night. My neighbor has an 8560 combine, makes a good clean sample. Yeah, don't want to brag, but my sample, my grain, the corn just looked so nice last fall coming out of that combine. It just, after all these years, still doing a fantastic job. When it was new, it seemed like it was almost a little aggressive. It was hard to get the corn through without breaking up the cob, getting that sifted out. But once it got a little wear in it, then it really did good. My guys that haul my grain, which, hey, if any of you are watching, how you doing? They've been telling me it's the nicest corn they've been hauling out so far this season. That's right. Every tool has a hammer side. That's right. Can you show changing the bearing? I need to learn how to do that. I suppose I can. I can record it with a GoPro and upload it at a later date or something. I guess I could go live again. I don't get a very good signal at home. That's why I haven't done very many of these lives. And just right there in my workshop, I've got Wi-Fi in it, but I don't get the best upload speeds out of that at times. And then the cellular data just, I get it there, but not really good enough. It makes for not the best live feed. She's turning again and she's squeaking again. I think we have the culprit. Plus I might think I see a little wobble in it. This one's pretty simple. The disc plate bolted onto the hub that the bearing is in, so pull the disc plate off. I gotta knock the cap off. Take the jam nut off the backside, move the bolt. Then you can, there's 6 bolts that go around the hub. Zip them off, and then that's what holds the bearings in. Then you just I take an old 5/8 bolt on the outer side and a punch. Just hit that 5/8 bolt, drive them 2 bearings out. Excuse me. A lot of times I'll use the new bearings to drive the old ones in because they got the right diameter outer part. But and get them in, bolt the blade back on, bolt it back on the planter, and good to go. This at least it went out when I needed a refill. I'll always, take good luck over no luck. All right, well, say that's I need to go up and refill and fix that bearing, grab a bite to eat. No hat, can't be a real farmer. Not worry about being able to repair the new machines, then it would be a good thing to look at you right bills all over the U.S. Yeah, yeah, I told my wife the way my hair is getting, I might need to start wearing a hat, but I've never been a hat person. Just I don't know, never been my thing. I've got a huge hat collection because seed companies and all these different places give farmers hats, and so I keep them. Got a nice rack of hats that are all new. Enjoyed life. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching, showing up. It's been just over 2 hours now, so hey, I appreciate it. And I see one of the farms I'm going to put into another live feed from that one. What does Zach say? Thank you for the stream and conversation. Well, thank you for listening. Hey, Murphy. Hey, everybody, check out Murphy Law. He's only got 3 videos. He just started doing this, but him and his mom are just, they're entertaining. I really enjoy his mom. She's a character. So, thank you about the good luck with the rest of the planning, and everybody take care. Stay sane and safe and healthy, but stay sane. And we will be seeing you in the future. Thank you, Chris. Good luck on it. Thank you. If any of you guys are out working, good luck on yours. You can always use it. Like I say, just here's an example. You're almost done and a bearing on a fertilizer opener goes out. So once again, thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. Phew. Is that it?